Okay, I want to talk about this concept. Learning a skill is never a waste of time. Learning a new skill is never a waste of time. Even if you don't use that skill currently, or even if you never use that skill again, you still have that wiring. It's not wasted. Even if you learn a new skill that's better than the one you used to know and is more efficient, you have the wiring of the old skill still there. That brings me to this word exaptation. You can exapt that skill for something else. Did you learn how to play piano when you were younger? Did you learn how to play, say, maybe four mallets with the Stevens script? Probably not a lot of people, but if you know, you know. What does that motion apply to now? Like having that control of your hand going this way and independent finger control. Most people, after they graduate high school and they're like, well, I'm never going to use that skill again. Why did I do this? That skill can apply to chopping vegetables, giving your partner a massage, having ridiculous finger coordination to type or text really fast. These are skills that are useful. It's not a wasted skill. My point is, if you think about your skills, your skill set, and you're smart about it, you don't have to worry that you're wasting time to learn it. You're learning something, right? Especially if you're learning something deliberately. Okay. You're creating pathways in your brain. You're rewiring your brain to learn these pathways. And that's creating something called myelination. I learned about this concept from Daniel Coyle's book, The Talent Code. One of my former professors recommended this book, and it's a great read. He's talking about white matter as opposed to gray matter in your brain, and how neural pathways are insulated by neurons firing together over a long period of time. And neurons that fire together wire together. That means you learn how to do a certain movement, like say a pull-up or a snatch, or you learn how to do something while you're playing the piano. Your fingers will always know how to do that because it's always insulated into your brain going down the pathway into your fingers. So basically, like the more you repeat it, whether it's a good technique or a bad technique, the more it's insulated and the more your brain knows how to do it just on autopilot automatically. You don't have to think about it. You can just say fire brain pathway to play a G major scale, and your fingers already know how to do it. Like your body already knows how to do it. You don't have to think about it. Okay. Or any other movement like walking or jumping or literally anything that your brain tells your body to do. So you can think of this two different ways. I know I did for a long time. If I'd learned something the wrong way, I was devastated. I was frustrated with myself for being so stupid, for learning the shortcut or using bad technique. And how could I be so thoughtless not to know that the first way I learned it was not the optimal way, right? The best way, the most efficient way. And I would spend like hours and hours and hours and days and months and in some cases even years trying to get that old technique out of myself, like to unlearn the old technique, right? I was trying to erase the pathways, the myelination, that ingrained pathway within me to undo them, but it's too late. It's already there. It's already there. And it really, it's just hard to undo your pathways. Can you imagine the shame, the guilt, the frustration that I knew that there was a better way and I wasn't on autopilot to do it because I was on autopilot to do this other less optimal way. Oh my God, it's terrible, right? It sounds ridiculous even when I read this. However, this is what some people are led to believe, especially when you're in like music education land. One teacher disagrees with another teacher. In order to succeed, you must do everything that your current teacher says, right? Don't think of them as like academic teachers that are teaching you like math equations. This is more like kind of gurus or like martial arts, masters. Not your regular English teacher. It's like you really like subscribe to their way of thinking, and it's kind of like the music school culture. You can compare it to like somebody who's really into Olympic weightlifting versus powerlifting, or somebody who really really likes Mark Ripito and doesn't like anything that, I don't know, who like thinks that Bergener is better than Ripito or vice versa, and it's just like it's nonsense. Like they both have good stuff to say. So but you have to step outside of that to know that later. But we really get into this like what's the word? We really get into like a silo of like thinking everything that your teacher has to say and is correct, and you have to do everything they do and like everything. Anyway, I digress. I've gone off track. It's something that like the teacher, I've heard this before too. The teacher believes they have to teach the old teacher out of you, like teach the old technique out of you. They have to like expel the other technique that you learned, and it's a bad thing that you have, and it's like this like shame that you have in yourself. You're like, oh my gosh, I learned how to do this wrong. I can't believe, I must fix myself. I must like expel everything. And then you're like stuck like hating part of the time that you spent learning something. Okay, this is the bad way to take this. This is not the right way to take this concept that your skill is a waste of time, because it's not. What I'm going to tell you is it's not. Okay, as an example, it happens in Olympic weightlifting. The Olympic lifters are shitting all over the power lifters because they do high bar back squat versus a low bar back squat, or the real gymnasts, like props to the real gymnasts, but they shit all over CrossFitters because of how their handstands look. And like CrossFitters just make fun of anybody who does aerobics, and yogis don't stretch, and gymnasts say stretch. And then there's people of like on the corners of YouTube that say like PNF stretching is the only way to do it. And like, it just goes on and on and on. The thing is though, they're all right. Every single one of them. They're all right. They're all correct. What I mean is, let's take a step back and imagine that we're all looking to optimize something, right? And that can be anything. As an example, like for playing percussion, as one does, if you're learning how to play traditional grip on the snare drum, right? Like this wrist rotation isn't really great for any other two mallet, two stick application where you have matched grip where both of your hands are going like this. This is kind of a waste of time, right? Except it's not. If you're going to play traditional cross grip with two mallets in each hand, this is actually a great application, having all of that wrist flexibility and control. And if you play Burton grip, even better, because there's a lot of that rotation going on. So it's not wasted to learn a bad technique. Okay, that myelinization that I told you about earlier, it's still there. You can call upon it at will whenever you want for your other skills. It's not a waste of time. Okay, so I can think of some other examples too. You're trying to optimize your back squat form, and one of your coaches, he says, the best way to do it is to squat with bare feet, ass to the grass. Like, don't use lifters, don't use a weight belt, don't use any kind of aid at all. This is the only way that you can improve your back squat form. Like, you have to just spend a ton of time, 10-minute squat holds all the time, do tempo squats from the bottom. You just have to do all this work. When you're going to test your max back squat, you're excited and you're jazzed up and you've got your energy drink and you're like just ready to go. What happens? Well, best case scenario, you do it and you get stronger, you get a better max lift. Cool. All right. And you're in a better position, you're in better mobility. Great. But what happens if you bottom out and you can't get the bar up? What if you're stuck? This has happened. Don't lie. This has happened to everybody, right? You're expecting one thing and you get stuck and you drop the bar off your back and you're like, okay, I failed, but let's just see. Let's just see what happens. Like, for funsies, I'm going to put on my lifting shoes and my weight belt. And then you go and do it and you get that same weight and it goes up and you're like, what the heck? That was awesome. So like, did you cheat? Was putting on your lifters and your weight belt, is that cheating? Maybe. If your goal was to lift X weight, barefoot, ass to grass, no aids, everything, then yeah, you cheated. You failed. Okay, cool. But if your goal was to improve form and kinesthetic awareness at the bottom of the squat in order to be able to lift heavier weight, then my friend, you succeeded. You did not fail. You did not spend too much time on the wrong technique. You improved in more than one dimension of the same skill. You learned a new skill in the process. This is why I say repetitions and learning a new skill is never a waste of time. My point is, if you want to learn calligraphy, do it. If you want to crochet, even though you know how to knit, go do it. If you want to learn how to bake, even though you're like an awesome cook, learn it. There's no reason for you not to have more skills. There's no reason for more people to not be better at more things. You will literally make the world a better place if you deliberately practice something, anything that tickles your fancy. It is not a waste of time, okay? So go and practice something.